It's hump day. It's the middle of the week, and I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are doing fine. And before we get started, today's watch was inspired by, thanks to my man Skyler. I seen you tag me over there on Watch Crunch, but I watched that video. There was an amazing review on that, and I will share that. I will put that, if you didn't see that review, I will post that in this video after it is finished. All right, we have a lot of ground to cover today. I have a lot of ground to cover today because I've been a watch collector for a long time, man. I want to give you a little bit of background. I've been a watch collector for a long time, but I've been loving watches since I was a kid. On some videos before, I was even interviewed on Instagram about what got me started with watches and things of that nature. And I mentioned that, you know, one of the first watches that I enjoyed was a Rolex Daytona. And since then, I've just loved watches. What's going on, y'all? Welcome in, brothers. Welcome in, my brothers. I've loved watches. I've enjoyed, I mean, think about it. It's an instrument that tells time. It actually records and shows you something that you have no control over. That's time. Something that is very precious, because wherever you spend your time, if I got you for 30 seconds, thank you so much. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, man. I know you're going to like the content. Or if you don't, go ahead and share it with somebody, because there's some people out there that be like, hey, you know what? I like to hear about stuff, right? I like people that like watches. I love enthusiasts, right? And that's what we're going to cover today. And guess what? I brought a secondary device so I can actually use this during my presentation. And today, I have a question. I didn't put it in the title, but I take this very personal. What happened to my Invicta? What happened to my Invicta? That is I think that's a valid question. So let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. Right? So since the dawn of Invicta, right? I said it, I think it was last week, that I want to complete this vision I had, right? Of the digital thumbprint of Invicta. And the fans, the people that love Invicta, right? What's good, man? Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Come on in. 1837 is the time that they said Invicta was created. If you do a little research, and I promise you, if you go down this rabbit hole, it will take you down so many different paths. And there's some, I'm not going to call them facts, because I just have to go off what's put on Google. I don't know how true it is, but there's an argument that Invicta really didn't start in 1837, right? The first Invicta factory was actually created in the 1900s. So the thought or idea of Invicta may have started then, but who's to say? I can say this. One thing I've learned is, I don't care if it's Patek, I don't care if it's AP, I don't care if it's Rolex. There are so many different companies that have said what started back whenever. We're talking the 1800s. How truthful is that, unless you have an actual book from that person and they wrote and recorded everything? So it doesn't matter. All I know is that I've seen a watch that was worn in World War II, right, by a collector's great-grandfather. Amazing. I was like, that is history, right? Now I know I'm prior service. I love anything. I'm in a building that soldiers used to be in back in the day, right? So I feel at home here. But fast forwarding from the 40s to 50s and the 60s, Invicta have, like, you can actually look on their website. There are a number of watches that fit for the time, and they were affordable. Really nice watches. And then, of course, crisis came. That damaged a lot of people. There were some companies that didn't bounce back. So according to the research I had, Invicta suffered their very first bankruptcy or what have you. They was in court for whatever. It sat with a bank, and then the 90s, here comes Ale and his family to the rescue. And since 1991, Invicta has been making watches for people to enjoy, to love, right? So how he did it, right? He would literally have to sit down and talk about that, which I think will be nice, or a nice Netflix special, if you will, right? Or he don't even need Netflix. All he needs is a camera and a mic, and just, you know, give us a series of what he has experienced. But all I can talk about is what I've experienced. I first came into Invicta in 2014. For those that don't know, got my very first Invicta, two Invictas from my wife. Now, if you go online, there's a couple things, and I'm gonna share some stuff with you. Invicta is not one of the greatest brands to be talked about, right? Well, let's say this: they're not talked about in a good light. There are some YouTubers that absolutely hate it. They hate Invicta just as much as they hate Hublot. You know who they are, the talking heads. However, I know from my perspective, Invicta has put out some amazing watches, right, that I enjoy. So what I'm going to show you guys today, I have a couple of watches here, and my question is, this isn't so much to you guys, but it is to the Invicta brand. What happened? What happened? Because there are some collectors that can give you information that I can't. Those that like, Godfather, aka, well, Glenn, right? He started collecting when Invicta first started, like in '91. He actually has the first, if I'm not mistaken, the very first pro diver that was created. And I want to show you something, guys. I brought with me a couple of watches. And I actually have a watch that has been rated on YouTube as being one of the best Invictas ever made. And that is this piece right here. This right here is the 9937 OB Pro Diver. And as you can see, you have Salida movement back there. Salida 200. Really nice timepiece. All right. This particular watch is running, I want to say this thing, the last time I had it checked, it was running about 7 seconds per day. Not bad, right? Amplitude on this thing is pretty good. But here is the thing. So this was one of the eyesores that the reviewer gave, was that Invicta. But I'm like, listen, we're into titling. We love labels, right? So that part did not bother me that Invicta did this. But this showed that the original watch, which is the Rolex Submariner, this is what they modeled it after. And you know what's so good about that? Some may argue with me. The best thing about that is, for those that can't afford the Rolex, you can get with a brand that has been, according to record books, has been in existence since the 1800s, right? Like mid 1800s, what have you. So they know a thing or two about watchmaking. Now, with AL and his family, this is what they're doing. They got a bunch of people that's working for them that are designing watches, or, if you want to call a copy, fine, go right ahead, because we're going to get into that. But look at that. It's in entirety. Flame Fusion Crystal. And if you don't know what Flame Fusion Crystal is, it's basically, according to them, it's a process, a mineral crystal that has the attributes of sapphire. I don't know how that works. I'm not a chemist. I don't know how they do that, right? But they do it. Now, here's my question. Since I've been collecting Invicta, right, I came into it and there were certain labels that they were calling, right? So let me show you one of their watches that is older. And it utilized a movement that, historically speaking, is one of the best Swiss movements that you can have in your watch. Now, this right here is a Pro Diver chronograph. And it's sizable. It's 47 millimeters. Don't know how thick it is. I'll have to measure it. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty thick. I would say maybe 17 millimeters thick. But you see that back there. Look at you got the Invicta logo in yellow. And then you see all the mechanics back there of this watch. And I'm going to tell you what that does and what that did for me. I got with Invicta solely off of the aesthetics. I love the way they look. I thought they were amazing timepieces. Then I started learning a little bit more about watches, the functions of watches, where the movements come from, what goes into it. Then I'm told that, hey, if you get a Swiss movement, that is the top of the top. And this is what, where these movements started at, and it's like, wow. So the Valjoux movement goes back to the early 1900s and comes forward. It was told that if the Valjoux movement was scheduled to be scrapped. The movement was hidden. The plans to that movement was hidden, and it came back and resurfaced after the quartz crisis, like some years. I can't remember how many years, maybe 5 or 6 years after the quartz crisis, probably longer. But when it came back with a vengeance. And there were so many companies, so many industries, so many countries that actually, like from the Germans, the Russians, everybody that got their hands on the Valjoux movement, they modified it to what they like. You start seeing moon phases, you start seeing different. So like you see this variation, you got the Valjoux 7753, where you just adjust and the sub dials are at the bottom portion of the watch. So for an Invicta collector, for me, when I'm looking, like, there's companies that charge uber amounts of money for these movements. Let me see. That is why I got into Invicta. Same quality as high dollar watches. First I bought was Valjoux 7750, still rocking. And this is one of the older ones. This right here is one of the older ones. Good morning, Tony. Whoa. Victor does give you a good product for price. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Vic. Vic is on it right now. Everything's good right now. Thank you for asking. I hope everything's good with you. Now, Nerd with Swag, what's going on? Welcome in. So here's the deal. Here's my question. This right here, stellar, amazing. The loom, the movement, everything about this watch is substantial, it's robust. I love the class. Now, it has a crazy water depth ratio, and for those that say, hey, who's going to put a butterfly clasp on a dive watch? Invicta. This is why people gravitate. This is people like me gravitate to brands like this. Who's going to put on a watch that big? Me. This guy, because I enjoy it. I love what they've done with it, right? So check that out. That's it on my wrist. I'm at home with wearing something like this, right? Now, that's a 47 millimeter. This one comes down to a 40 millimeter. And I'm comfortable wearing this. I enjoy this watch. When I got it, I said, man, I was upset that they have a blue version to this watch, right? A blue dial. I wanted that watch. Can't find it, and I know people are not partying with their watches. Some Invictas are fine. Others are mass-produced. I have limited edition with Meteorite and Swiss made. Me love bigger watches. I love it. Yes, so again, my question, what happened? What has happened, man? I was reading an article. And I want to share this with you guys. Here, I'm going to flip the camera around real quick so you can see my secondary device. This right here, Invicta false pricing. Stock cons. You may be entitled to compensation if you have purchased an Invicta wristwatch due to the company's using false urgency throughout the website. And then there's somebody chimed in, and I will have to say, as Judge Judy often says, not everything is a lawsuit. Invicta's had their fair share of, and these are things that you can find online, right? You type it in, and for those that love Invicta, some things you may find like, oh my gosh, not the brand that I love, happens, right? Invicta's not the only company that goes on record as having flaws, right? Panerai had issues with fake Panerai being, and they promoting fake Panerai. They went through their stuff, right? And there's no perfect company, there's no perfect person, there's a lot of stuff. You draw the line in the sand all you want to. Everybody has some type of flaws. There's flaws as customers. And I think sometimes the customers do, in a way, control what happens or what's put out. But this $1 million question I have, right? Or it's just a burning question I have, because last night I saw something that it was very interesting, to say the least. There was Victor Ryan actually put out a video, or he did his podcast last night, and Invicta this year alone, I can tell you that, I'm gonna show you a watch that came out this year. Shop HQ had debuted this watch. This one right here. And it's called the R150. And they call it that because, I mean, the movement itself is an R150. This is more of in their Pro Diver series. This is one of their Pro Divers. But they don't call it Pro Diver. They call it the R150. I liked it. I didn't buy it, but I had a chance to go and meet with Ryan. We hung out for a weekend, me and 4 other guys. And just out of friendship, out of brotherhood, he blessed me with this watch. And I will forever appreciate him for this. But this watch is said to be Swiss made. I went through this watch with a fine-tooth comb, looking at everything. And just the build itself, I like it. It's very robust. It has the integrated bracelet look, which I think is stellar because integrated bracelets it's a thing. People are loving it right now. Hence, PRX. I think, for Invicta, it's like, yo, this is what I'm talking about. So we get to celebrate. For a collector like me, I'm like, yeah, man, I love when Invicta gets a win, man, because on YouTube, there's 2 things I'm going to cover on YouTube. There's people that will review Invicta, and the only watch they will review are watches that, like the Pro Diver, right? Or then when they talk about some of the bigger watches, they talk about it in such a light, and they never put their hands on it, and they don't understand what that does for collectors like me and other people, right? Some people love that. Last night, her name is Anna, but they call her Foo. She was on the podcast. And when I tell you she had her wrists are small, about 6.5, right? She wears larger watches than me. I got a 7.25 inch wrist. She had them. She showed her watches last night. What's up? Welcome in, everybody. Yo, Mr. 757 is in the building. Invicta has fallen, in my opinion. They're concentrating on the wrong thing. We're gonna talk, and this is what I'm getting to, and I know time is valuable, so let me just jump into this. You had a collection called Elite Diamonds. There are a number of you guys that own that. I've seen them in person. When I say this thing is phenomenal, I'm like, yo, that is a crazy watch, right? But then you have a collection. There's a number of collections, but then you have your reserve. What makes a reserve watch, right? When Invicta came out with reserve timepiece, which they had a watch called the Reserve, and that went away. And then, of course, the reserve collection came, and that just came with, imagine, let's see. Okay, let's do this. Imagine you have this, right? Pro Diver. But then this very Pro Diver goes into the reserve collection, right? And what makes it different? So imagine if this watch had an NH35, which they do have the NH35 version of this. The reserve would be the Swiss upgrade. What's up, DK? Welcome in. Well, what started happening was, we noticed this, that some of their regular models, there was no difference in between that and reserves. Here, let me show you what a reserve would look like. So this, my friends, is a quartz timepiece, Mickey Mouse colors. You can see Mickey Mouse right there. But then if you look right here on the clasp, you have the reserve logo. We went crazy. As a collector, went nuts over that. It was like, yo, reserve. And it meant so much. It's the difference of buying a 4-cylinder Camaro versus the big V8. That's the difference. But then we started noticing over time that reserve and then a regular model, there was no difference. They shared the same movement. They had the same color scheme. And as you can see on the back of this watch right here, they paid a lot of attention to just like tagging this thing. Like, yo, we want to give you the information. We want you to feel that you have a watch and now you got a watch. You got something that you can be proud of owning. And then when it came to YouTube, at that point in time, YouTube was still like getting there. And you had a couple people representing Invicta on YouTube. But then when those people came that was hating on Invicta, and we came with pitchforks, guns, Uzis, we was like, yo, say something else about Invicta. I dare you, right? We came forward. Hold on, let me see. The way the reserve line happened was straight up disrespectful to the Invicta fan base, and I'm glad you said that. In all these comments, hold up. Let me do this. I want to pin that. I want to pin that. All right. Can someone tell me what battery goes in Invicta model? What? Hold up. Let's pause for the calls, y'all. Let's pause for the calls. You said one. Oh, 2032 battery. Okay, thank you. I want to see what the heck is a 1096. I'm curious now. Oh, excursion. Oh, okay. I have this watch. You know what's crazy? I have this watch. I got it in the white Arctic edition. That's crazy. It's a caliber 515. Oh, that. Okay, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Is that the Ronda 515? Who's in it? The way? Love this talk about reserve versus non-reserve. Huge fan. Huge fall off over the last 5 years. First, this non-Swiss movement design lacking, in my honest opinion. Okay, so let me replace that pin with your comment. Casio used those batteries, but Invicta don't. Probably 377 or 371. Okay, those are remote batteries. I'm just messing with you. Okay, so watch EV watch reviews. This is my problem. This is my problem because I can tell you as a collector of Invicta, there were many talking heads that I had a problem with the stuff that they said because I said, hey, you never touched a watch, you don't know. You've never been around the community of people, so you have no idea. And I stood up for Invicta as a whole, but did Invicta stand up for themselves? It's not, they don't have to stand up for me or any other collector. Is there where is the pride in creating enthusiasts? So let's look at where has Invicta been. And from my perspective, I saw Invicta when they were on Shop NBC, Evine, and Shop HQ, now to JTV. Now they have Talk with Ryan, right? A podcast. There were a lot of speculations here and there. There were a lot of rumors. There's a lot of facts. There's a lot of clamoring back and forth. But what we saw as collectors, a number of us stated, hey, Invicta was real big on getting new collectors in. And that's like, hey, do you understand? I was in sales. I was in retail, right? Word of mouth is major. Word of mouth, that goes so far. And guess what happens? Invicta inadvertently created an onslaught of people on Facebook. So you have Invictaholics, you have Invicta watch addicts, you have Flossin Flossin is not an Invicta Facebook group, but there are a ton of a ton of Invicta collectors in that group. You have Invicta 757, so on and so forth. Club Invicta, one of the largest groups out there. There's even an Invicta fan page that has over 100,000 Invicta collectors, right? So you're like, yo, you have the masses, you have the people behind you. And guess what happened? The word watch enthusiast was dropped into it. Pre-COVID. You heard the word watch enthusiast sprinkled here and there. You've seen it sprinkled here and there, but it really didn't take hold until I'm gonna say like right after COVID. Now we've adopted this watch enthusiast terminology and said, yeah, I am a watch enthusiast. Invicta's a part of that. So it's like you have to grow with your fan base. And this is factual. You can't, unless somebody recorded this. I remember A.L. Lalo, which is the CEO of Invicta, state that he did not care about the industry and what they did because there were a lot of people talking bad about Invicta. A lot of people. He knew it. And Invicta always went by beat of their own drum. 47 millimeter. This watch was born off of this design, which was born off of the Rolex Submariner. And this one was designed by Ryan Johnson, the face of Invicta, the ambassador, if you will. So it's completely different than your average watch, man. This thing is tungsten, it's heavy, it's still a dive instrument, it still has a Swiss movement on the inside. This watch is robust, but this is the design that a lot of Invicta collectors gravitated towards. They loved it, they bought it, didn't matter the price, and it was still cheaper than a lot. Let me see, what's that? I've done so many 120 batteries in the house. Okay, so with that being said, this was his thought of what a watch should look like, right? He put it together, then it comes in different colorways and stuff like that. So you have to give the author of that design so much credit. And now it is a reserve level watch. And it does have reserve. If you look at the right up here, it has reserve up there. It's letting you know that this watch is the creme de la creme of what Invicta has in store, right? Then you talk about price. Price is huge. If we look at right now, look at the watch market. Micro brands are charging a premium at this point. Even though it's crashing or have crashed, there's companies still going up, and they're making up for what they're not making in stores. There's nothing new being added to the watch, but what can you get at the $800 mark or $1,000 mark? And when you think about Invicta, these watches right here used to go for $1,200, and collectors paid it gladly. But then there were companies like the main companies, big box store companies, same movement, same 316L still, $4,000 for value. It happens. I mean, look, Breitling uses the value movement. You know what I'm saying? And you see how much Breitling is. It's a well-known brand, but talk about large watches. Hydromax, yes. Hydromax was pretty much their answer to Rolex's thick watch, the deep sea challenge that they had, right? And this is where like the question comes, like, Invicta, what happened? Because why not stick to what the company was born on, giving us Swiss-made timepieces at an affordable price? But like, here's the deal. I am not going to pretend that I know what his team or AL has to go through to maintain this company. I don't know financially. I don't know what it takes. Vendors, COVID happened. Maybe they had an issue with getting parts and stuff like that. Maybe the vendors that they were buying from charged them more, and he was like, hey, I got to transfer this cost on to the collector. Let me show you something. One of the most celebrated, another celebrated watch on YouTube from any talking head is this right here. This is the 1953. You see back there? Yellow rotor. This right here is praised as one of the best Invicta to own right now. If you collect Breguet, if you collect Patek Philippe, if one of those, this right here is labeled as one of the best watches to get. This is pre-COVID. You want to see something? 1953. Post-COVID. You see that? I showed this the other day. Now, this is what I call completely unacceptable as a collector. This is what I call completely unacceptable. How is it that the company that we know and love, right? Some of us, not everybody. You go Same watch, same dimension, same style, but it's just different colorway. And then you go with this. Now, price wise, you can get that watch for, on the low end, about $85, depending on the sales and stuff like that, or depending where you go. This used to be $199. This used to be $199, so they're not charging as much at this point. But can they charge $199 for that? Possibly. Now, this has a Salida 200, Swiss made, right? Or at least a Swiss movement. This was $199. Boy, the phone calls, man, stop it. Goodness, y'all know I'm live, bro. Get out of here with that. Wifey's in here. They want to make sure she walk in the morning. Okay. Oh, okay. I'll be done with this in a minute. I'll call y'all. There's a change where the Swatch Group stopped supplying other watch brands. Reduced who can get them over the last 5-6 years may have impacted, but there are other Swiss movements, Salida, Ronda, etc. Right. Now, tour watches, welcome in. We can walk in the morning. It's heavy again. So this is just me. This is where I'm at with it, right? So at one point, Invicta did charge the $199 for this watch. This one came down to $199 with a Salida, and I think on the average cost, if you can find this one, between $200 to $300. Is it worth it? Absolutely. This watch is well crafted, it's well put together. I have no complaints. Look at the level of micro adjust, and if you don't do this bracelet, you can always change it. Just the head of this watch. Just a simple bracelet switch will make this watch really pop. Make it your own. But again, this is something that Invicta collectors value. They value what they have started. Like they started, here's the deal, Invicta started this. They started this craze. We just took it and ran with it. Invicta cruises, based on our history, I've been to multiple Invicta cruises. Literally, COVID stopped so much business. Guess I'm going to call since everyone else is calling. Here you go. Be careful with ETA movements. Some companies are using Chinese ETA, not Swiss. Yeah, and that's the thing too. So this is where I'm just baffled. I'm baffled with this, man. You go from making amazing pieces, right, to shortchanging us because that made look at that. That made the watch for me, bro. Like, I love that. When I got this watch, I got this in spirit of Watchman 54, right? I bought this because I hadn't been buying any Invicta pieces, right? I bought this the day that he announced that his daughter had passed away, right? He was on Shop HQ, and I believe this is before Shop HQ and Invicta parted ways. I bought this in spirit of him. I haven't even sized it yet. You know what I'm saying? I got it, and when I looked at it and saw the case back, and then I saw that right there, the stamp clasp, I was like, yo, you have to grow with the collector. So they have a thing where we can call in or write in and say, hey, this is what we want to see from Invicta. They had a question, what brings you back to Invicta? And people would always start with quality, the unique designs, the price. And in that order, so to speak, give or take, there were a couple other things, and they loved the community. They loved it. They loved the fact that it was more of a family versus just, and people would call in and pretty much compare apples to oranges here. They're like, well, my Invicta looks just as good as a Breguet, or look just as good as this, or they would always say Rolex, or they'll say that other company. But if you really get a Rolex in your hand and look down at this, quality is definitely different. But you get the point. You have to grow with your fan base. Your fan base is giving you high praise, giving you honors, and they're telling the world, not just you, they're telling the world, if you buy an Invicta, you would definitely get your money's worth. And I'm like, yeah, I was agreeing upon that. And then what happened was the reserve collection went away, right? I saw this. Now this is older, right? This is older. This right here is a part of the heritage line. Still a reserve quality timepiece. It's high polished. You got Salida 200s and the chronographs. Ooh, that blinded me. The chronographs have Salida 500s in it, right? When these came out, people went crazy. There's only a select amount of people that were collecting these, and they were expensive. They were up in the over $1,000 for these watches. Then the price came down, but then we saw like these were supposed to come back. These were supposed to come back, and this was just a testament that AL and his team took pride in having this brand. And the Noma series is actually should be special to him because the Noma is the abbreviation of his children, the Noma. But Sabakwa, I guess, is a term for sea dragon. Let me get into the comments real quick. Yes, okay, Natura's in here. Even running cost at cost. Watch for all this is promoted as Swiss Move. Yeah, stamped at a 2824. I had to get one just to see for myself. I knew 6 years ago when they canceled the online registration where enthusiasts could keep their watch purchase registered with the company. Things were going to change. Reserves had warranties. Oh, let me replace that. Back in 2012 to 2019, I'd say facts, quality, and great prices. Now, not so much. And this is the thing. We had Elite Diamonds, which I missed out on that. We had Reserves, which I have a few. We have this right here. And then the latest and greatest was the Masterpiece Collection. Now, the question was, Etta wasn't giving out any more movements, right, to people. It was said that they had the Etta movements, the last movements in storage or whatever the case is. I don't know what the story is, but all I know is they came out last year with the Etta and the 7750, so they put it in a number of watches. This was one of the watches, and they called it the Masterpiece, right? But then where do you go from there? This is my $1 million question. Where do you go from there? Because the reserve pieces that I see out now, or the lack thereof, I didn't see any. And last night, you guys can go see for yourself, there was watches showcased, and there was one person, this isn't a secret, there was one person in the chat that pretty much pointed out where those watches came from. Now, Invicta did one thing last night. If nothing else, if you complain about Invicta, that's your thing. But I'm gonna tell you, there's about 4 or 5 models that Invicta just came out, and it's under the Montrez Prestige X collection, something completely new to Invicta, right? You can go look and see if that company ever existed. This is completely new, and I believe it means something. I don't think it wasn't a company because I couldn't find it. I researched it. The watches are designs that date back to 2017 from Jacob & Co. Right? There's a diamond pave, but theirs is a crystal. The original piece, you can look this up for yourself, was a tourbillon. Invicta has a Chinese movement, the JHS something. That movement and watch right now will cost you, what was it, $5.99? I think it was. I think it was $5.99. I think it's on if you go to Invicta website, which you can go in my description. Research for yourself. Research for yourself. All of the designs that they showed last night are homage copies, if you will, of the Jacob & Co. Now, the beauty is, for those, if you got $360,000, then you can go get you a Jacobs. And I welcome you to it. I would love for you to post that picture to my Instagram and let me see that you got it. And we'll celebrate it. If not, you can go buy you an Invicta. If you just want the style. If you want the style, right? And I'm not knocking the fact that they brought that out because there's a homage watch in every company. My only thing is, one, I don't too much care for those models because I don't wear those type of watches. I want to see some upgrades to some old, like I've asked for Invicta to make this Swiss made. or at least have a Swiss movement in it. I asked for an upgraded clasp in this model right here. I would love to see this model Invicta style. I would love to see this with lapis dial or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want. But because they didn't, I go to other brands, right? So I have an example of a brand that just not just being keeping it 100 with you. This right here is a field watch. This one has a Swiss movement inside. They purchased a Swiss movement. They regulate it down out there in Cincinnati. I went to go see this watch being pressure tested. It was tested in 5 different positions. This watch is running at cost certification levels, right? Cost me $500. $500. Invicta was doing quartz movements, their reserve movements at $550 on Shop HQ. So with that being said, those same watches are now around $299, $249, somewhere around there. My thing is, if a company that does not have the spending power or the legacy of Invicta, and they can bring out a watch that has Swiss movement in it, regulated, ready to go, and will make any enthusiast happy. That's the thing. A lot of us have graduated it from just being a watch collector just to be enthusiastic about collecting watches. And I don't feel that Invicta's growing with us in that area. And yes, you're right. That watch wasn't an Invicta. It's not an Invicta timepiece that I was talking about. But if you're going to do something, man, like right now across the board, I can show you. Hold on, where we at? I'm gonna show you a watch that Laurier, right? This is a beautiful watch. This was another one that was $499. Then I opted for to have Trapvision put on the actual case back. Look how thick that crystal is. Now if you scratch this crystal, you have to have a poly watch to actually fix it. But that makes it very unique. And I just enjoy this watch. This has a Miyota movement in it. It's not Swiss made at all. This watch is regulated and it fits well. It's a great watch, in my humble opinion. But if you got companies that does not have the financial depth of a company like a behemoth of a company, Invicta has done a lot. They've bought a lot of companies. They own glycine, bro. Like they've done a lot. And all I'm saying as a collector is like, yo, where is the Invicta that I know? Where is that company that makes me enthusiastic about collecting brands that like, hey, okay, you paid what, $1,200 for that watch? Well, I got this one and I'm enjoying it for $350. You know what I'm saying? Invicta's putting out some great stuff, man. And I just, this is, I don't know, man. I feel like it's an uphill battle. And with that, right now, if you go and look at the watch market, it's crashing, it's falling down. And you got one of the greatest guys to ever grace Invicta, which is Ryan. You have a behemoth of a watch enthusiast / professional that knows the brand. He could promote the brand like none other. And me personally, as a fan of the brand, I don't feel like he's being utilized properly. I think a lot of what we are seeing right now is a result of them switching platforms and slowing down production as they navigate their direction. What the heck? I thought I was skipping last night. No, bro. I sat on this last night, and you know what? Hold on. Let me pin that comment.
The thing I loved about them is,
hey, Skylar, he always doing that. And you know what, VK? Me personally, I hope that's the case. I hope this comes down to, hey, we're switching. I can't stand. You know I'm live. You know I'm live, and you called anyway. I hope, man. Listen, man. I hope Santa Claus, man, take all your cookies and flip it. I hope he let the reindeer poop on your rug, man. I'm sick of you. Don't call me no more while I'm live. I'm sick of you. Darn it. Y'all, he owed $1,500, man, for interrupting my live. Matter of fact, since you want to call, yeah, I see you in the chat. Don't laugh. You got to buy, everybody that's in my chat right now, you got to buy them a watch.
Part of this is,
And don't go try to buy no Casio for $14. No, we want real watches. Well, that Casio is a real watch, what I'm talking about. We want what we want. How about that? I think Invicta has lost a lot of its core collectors by not giving us the quality timepieces that we're used to buying from them. You keep forgetting to put it. See, hey, no, it does. It's on there. So the difference in what my phone is doing now is the do not disturb won't allow you to hear it ring, but it still lets the call come through. And I'm like, dude, my old phone never did that. It doubles for every event. Loopers on me, LOL. Hey, make it happen. But here's the Bernard. You better not call me. Here's the deal. That where I am with as an Invicta collector, I can look down at my collection that I have right now and be like, man, I got such a fire collection, man. Like watches like this, I absolutely love. Like, dude, Tiger's Eye, and this was at a reasonable price. I got this from a reasonable price. I actually bought this from a collector last year. I have a number of watches, man. Like I traded to get this watch right here. I've been wanting this for a long time. But then I still have my, outside of Invicta, like Tissot, one of the greatest chronographs on the planet. And I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna go back and forth with nobody on that one. And then you have watches that, and I know some people hate homage pieces, but doggone it, I got one. Absolutely enjoy these watches, and that's what they're here for. They're here to enjoy. And this is just me kind of letting off how I feel, just putting that out there. You make the decision on what watches you want to collect and how you want to collect. That's up to you. I just feel that Invicta is one of the few companies that I'm like, man, bro, come on, man, we rooting for you. We pulling you. And socially, there has been some things that have put collectors off. But I promise you, I'm not touching that at all. I am coming from the standpoint of where I am as an enthusiast, as a collector, what I am looking for in a watch. And yes, I complain a lot. I complain. If I don't get my way, I'm sitting in the room and I'm kicking and hollering like, don't do that. Stop that. Yeah, but as a whole, I don't know. Now, I will say this. Hats off to the Invicta race team. I think one of the great things about Invicta, they bought a race team over in UK, a F2 race team, and they just won a championship either yesterday or the day before yesterday. So they have a lot to be like celebrating right now. They have a lot to celebrate. He took a risk, a chance. He spent his money on his team. It paid off. Hopefully this gives them the energy they need, put some energy back into Invicta that's been missing for quite some time. I doubt that they'll ever go back into cruising. They may just keep it what they've been doing, cruising with collectors, Facebook groups and stuff like that. But in the event that this thing sparks something and AO say, hey, you know what, let's bring back the cruisers, I'm on it. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to do my thing. That's just where I am with a collector. But as far as the watches that I collect, there are some things that I just question. Like you went. Jay Jones, really? So he's going to keep calling back to back. I hope your fingers got arthritis in them. I hope you can't use your phone no more. I hope you have a runny nose and it freeze solid on your lip, man, and you get embarrassed in front of a nation of people. I hope all the batteries in your watches die today. They blow acid and all the movements go and your whole Invicta collection melts down. Now, that's what I hope happens. I hope somebody come in and take all the trash out your dumpster and just put it across your living room. That's what I want to happen to you. You keep calling me, boy, I'll tell you the truth, man. So what's wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Calling me, and then you gonna laugh. It's funny, huh? Oh my gosh. Jay Jones, you know what? I hope somebody kick you in your ankle when you're trying to walk across the street, man. That's what I hope. And I hope your knees start rubbing together, man. You burn a hole in your pants. Man, God, dog. F2 Racing Series and Millie Tight watches. Wow, B, really? You gonna call? So this what y'all doing? Y'all conspiring against me, right? So y'all just make these phone calls, right? You know what? I hope you get chased by a dog and he bite the seat of your pants. That's what I hope happens to you. I hope you get wet when it starts snowing today and you freeze outside, man. That's what I hope happens to you. I hope you pick up your cup of coffee and the handle break off and it spills everywhere and you can't get it up because you ain't got no napkins and nowhere in sight. That's what I hope happened to you right now. Y'all keep calling me. Every time y'all call, y'all owe somebody a watch. How about that? Y'all some dirty individuals. Ooh, y'all some dirty individuals. I am about to change my number. I'm blocking everybody that called me. I'm blocking you. I'm done with you. Our friendship is over. Our brotherhood is done. I'm sick of y'all. Y'all some dirty individuals. Interrupting my live. What kind of mess is this, man? This is conspiracy, man. This is foolishness. Man, they only allow you. Hey, look. Hey, bro, I'm gonna start going live from this. Y'all ain't got this number now. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start going live from this phone right here. Y'all will never get on. You dirty individuals. Wow. Man, I promise you, bro. I'm about to start interrupting y'all. I'm gonna start calling y'all I'm gonna call y'all about 10 times, about 3 o'clock in the morning, every night, man, until Christmas. All right, so you said, hold on, what was that? You just explained why L doesn't care about watch the vision yet. What they gonna do, bro? Because you know, here's a conflict. Bro, there's so many Invicta collectors, man, but there's a lot of them that stopped collecting for a number of reasons. There were some that loved the reserve collection, and when they saw the reserve collection go away, because that's how they collect. That is the most interesting thing about it, man. And it's almost like, you know, those that complain about it, like, hey, bring back the reserve. But if you see, let's say you see 10 people say that, right? You're supplying millions of people watches, right? But I was like, wait a minute, the reserve was a thing. Reserve was a thing. There was multiple people, but there's just happened to be 7 or 8 people that's being vocal about it. Like, hey, bring this back. And it's like, I'm not gonna bring back the reserve for this, or maybe you can't bring it back. I don't know. But there was a comment earlier, and I think it was Venom Cab. You said this. If you cut the amount of watch lines that you have, because if you type it in, Invicta puts out over 4,000 models per year, and that's models like this, right? The 9937 OB, but then you have the blue version, you have a yellow version, and like you let's say you got 10 colorways, so that's a different model, right? Same watch, but different colorways, so it's gonna have a different number, right? And if you have on average 5 colorways per model, then yes, it's like, yeah, Invicta's putting out 5,000 watches per year, but granted, how many models are there? How many of the designs are they putting out? Maybe 100, something, you know what I'm saying? Maybe 200, who knows? But I would say, man, if they cut back on making some of these models, man, like they made one, the Hurricane, right? That didn't last long at all, bro. That Hurricane was just like, nope. Vic only picked the boot when he plays Monopoly. What? Who's next? Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Somebody got seek permission to call Trap. That's right. He said, I'll find you no matter what. Get out of here. The designs have really gone downhill, I think. And see, here's the deal. I want, and somebody from Invicta, I want them to see this, because in my opinion, I feel that this is a valid gripe. This is a valid conversation. This episode is valid because I'm not gonna go through all the stuff. Like I said, I have visuals in here. I'm not gonna go through all that. All I'm saying is this: with the watches that just came out last night, somebody pointed out what the watch was. Oh, the nerve of you guys. The absolute nerve of you. Mr. I got 10 watches. I hope a bird come by and take your 10 watch case and fly away with it forever. I hope you can't catch it. I hope he dropped that thing on the Misfit Island, the island for Misfit Toys, and you can never reach it. I hope Santa Claus don't visit you or your household for the next 15 years. Boy, I take. Guess it's my turn to call. He said, answer cuss about live. They in the chat, man. Half the chat right now is calling me, man. Half the chat. Hope y'all, you know what, bro? I'm visiting y'all in y'all dreams, boy. I promise. I'm bringing Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees with me. Charlie in the box would love those 10 watches. Man, bro. Man. All right, so what I've said is just a collector that I've been collecting Invicta for a long time. There may be some channels that pick this up and like, hey, look, even Invicta collectors are tired of Invicta. This isn't that I hate video. This is I'm complaining because I'm a collector, currently a fan of Invicta. So don't get it twisted. And I'm putting that out there. And if you're gonna play anything, if I see this come up in somebody's live or somebody's video and you don't play the whole thing, then you got my whole attention, because some of you big YouTubers be doing that crap. Some of y'all be doing that crap. Oh, speaking of which, I posted on Facebook. Now this is something completely different, man. Let me get your attention for a second. Y'all know, some of you guys know that I conduct a Black History Month video, right, for February every year. I do it every year. I do a Black History fact or something like that. Right now, starting now up until I'm just running this experiment. So I'm asking all Black content creators, no matter what your content is, right? I want all Black content creators to type in hashtag Black content creators, right? Put that in the descriptions or whatever the case is of your videos. If you're a content creator, I would love for you to put hashtag Black content creator. I'm running an experiment. I want to see this. I'm going to be putting this in each one of my videos because I feel that it's important to see, like, across the board, who's talking about horology, who's talking about the things that you like. YouTube never promotes the channels that I need to see. I have to go out and accidentally find some watch collectors. There's a guy right now that I'm going to put his description. I actually shared it on my Facebook page. I've shared it on my Facebook page. There's a creator. He's actually currently serving as a ranger. And great content. I dig it. But I just, you know what I'm saying? It's like he got 1,000, I think like 1.1, and he don't have a lot of watch time. He's not monetized yet. And I would love to see him get there. But there's, like, I've watched so many Black content creators. There's one guy that talks about Rolexes, and he stated, I'm going to talk about Rolex because that seems like the only thing that gets people attention. And I'm like, man, these guys and gals have a lot of knowledge, a lot of industry, man. And I say their videos are way better than mine, bro. Like, way better. They should be up there, bro. And that's not the case. I'm like, dude, it's like YouTube is burying, like, content creators they're either smaller and the Black content creators. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm running that, man. So I'm asking that you guys help me with this. This is for the content creators, Black content creators. Do this. This is my Black History Month experiment. So, what up, House of X? Do light skin Chris Brown? I'm dead. Yes, bro. You count too. If I want cheap plastic crap, I'll go to Walmart. Let me see. It's like I've been waiting for Invicta to wake up again. And I want these comments. Oh, man. If his moderators start calling during live, he's going to need to clean house. Hey, I've already had some moderators. Yeah. Hold up. You know what? He should have. I don't know why you ain't never had a blue wrench, bro. Gotta give my bro a blue wrench. Um, yeah. Hold on. Let's see where we at. Vic, are you talking about Booker T? Can you dig it, sucker? Yes, I'm gonna be running an experiment from here on out to celebrate people. Hey man, hold up, bro. Hold up, that just took me out, bro. Hold up, get the back end out. Thank you for the super chat. I'm weak, man. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh man, that just took me out, bro. Oh, wow. Wow, bro. Okay. Robert Wood, welcome in. And you know what's funny? Kimon is in the building, right? I've joked about Kimon and teased at his $1 million Colgate smile, but he has a collection of Invicta pieces that are second to none. Very amazing, and I don't know. You know what? I think this episode deserves a follow up with more people on. Again, I will leave that in your side of the court. If you guys would like to revisit this conversation as a whole, as a panel, we can do it. I definitely want to talk about like the highs of the Invicta, like since they've been in existence, because there are some Invicta pieces that people don't know exist, right? I was looking at some of the the watches from the 40s and 50s, amazing timepieces. They generate on Watch Crunch, they pop up on eBay every once in a while. Even I was looking at oh my gosh, Glycine. I just saw a Glycine from 1969, and it is the Camaro. It's the Glycine Camaro, and it is the same shape as the Tag Heuer Camaro. Same shape. They use the same pushers on it. They did it a few months after Heuer came out, and I saw one online, functional, great. It's like, I forgot how much it was, but I think it's like $3,000-4,000. And then I saw some other Glycines that are pre-Invicta that I'm like, yo. And that goes, and see, this is, I didn't really want to pick, and I'm not picking on Invicta, just use an example. There's other companies that are shortchanging. How many of your watches do you think that are really Swiss made, that say they Swiss made? I mean, because they're like people playing that game, man. Like, who was that? Mark from Long Island dropped it. And go look at Mark's video, and he talks about Swiss made. He dropped that video. If you don't take my, so I'm gonna tell you this. Some of you guys have voiced your opinions in the comment section on the information I put out, not being a trusted source, if you will, and I haven't hit those comments. Go right ahead, but go to those YouTubers that you trust more that don't look like me, and you know who you are. The comments you put, not trying to. I'm saying I said it is what it is, but there are other sources that you gonna trust more because you trust them more. Let's put it to you like that. But go over to Mark from Long Island and let him tell. He's been in the watch business. He's putting watches out. He's a retail guy. He's an entrepreneur. You'll see it. Go watch one of TGV's videos. And I know some of you guys have voiced your opinions the other day. You really don't care for TGV. Okay? Hey, I can't tell you who to like and who not to like. Which he just did a live the other day, which I was surprised. I said, man, okay, cool. But I do know that these people have been around watches. They have been infused with horology, building, designing, and teaching. So go check them out and see what they say about your official Swiss made watch, or not so official. And we'll go from there. And don't have to take my word for it. I just point you in the direction where you need to go. I have been worn in Invicta in a long time. Today I have on my grand diver 15-year anniversary I got one of those too. Rick, I got one of those. 3,300 on eBay. Thank you. Hey, man, Pooh Fest was like, yo, Pooh Fest 420. That's a crazy name. Leo in the building.
When I saw him, I'm like, man, he's like,
So, yep, we've been on for an hour. We're going to stop at that. For those that just came in, I actually walked through my experience with Invicta. I have a number of Invicta pieces from the reserve to the most, like one of the most sought after Invicta styles. This one right here. What does that say? Man, limited edition, man. This one says Swiss made on the dial. This is an older one too. This isn't a remake. This isn't one of their newer ones. One of their old reserve Pro Divers courts right here to one of their newer pieces. It does not have a reserve logo, but it's at the reserve standard of Invicta. Where are they going? What's the future of Invicta? What is it? What Invicta? What we doing? What we doing? What we doing? I'm here for it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm here for it. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm here as a fan. Like, yo, bro, I'm looking for what I'm looking for. There's other companies that are doing that, pushing out some brands, some stuff that is amazing at decent prices. Micro brands. I think 2025 is going to be the year of micro brands, in my humble opinion. I think Christopher Ward is going to take over has taken over a lot of positions, a lot of spots, and has gained the attention of some authentic watch enthusiasts, if you will. Seeing that we have adopted that term now. So, is that a saying 3 heritage? Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir, it is. This is when I tell you that the first time I saw this watch, I wasn't able to afford it. I couldn't get it. And then when they came back out with it, I didn't want the newer version because it had Swiss movement on it. And I was like, nah, I don't want that. I want the Swiss made one. And it happened to come available, and I traded a very dear friend for this when I got it now. So this ain't going nowhere. I will keep the integrity of my Invicta collection, man. So if somebody is questioning where I stand with watch, I love watches. And Invicta's in my collection. I don't shy away from it. I know people say, hey, I started with Invicta, but they're on to Rolex. They're on to Patek. I met a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my people over there at Maury Jewelers. Yeah. So if you could snap your fingers, how would you fix Invicta overnight? I would cut everything back. If I can snap my fingers I will cut everything back and just start where they left off with the reserve line, with bringing out watches that we love to collect. With Tim Temple and what was the other guy? Tim Temple and oh my gosh, I can't think of his other name. Somebody please help me out. You guys know him. Tim Temple and was another guy. Davis. They created a craze. They're the reasons why Invicta is so popular. I support, but don't be Illuminati. Oh, I don't know about that. Skelp, thank you. Jim Skelp. No, bro, ain't no Illuminati over here, sir. I don't do all that. I ain't no gatekeeper. All that stuff. Nah, I just like collecting watches, man. And I think it's fun to do these things. If I could snap my fingers and take something back, man, I would definitely, something I would change is the places we meet. Because that was one thing that I loved, enjoyed about being an Invicta collector is watching all of the different collections in one location, safe location, out on the sea, right? You don't have to worry about going to a place somewhere and somebody coming to knock you over the head, robbing you, you know what I'm saying, because you walk through the parking lot with your cases. But I would definitely go back to that, man. I think Invicta has something great with when they were doing these right here, right? Explore this one, man. You know, right now, some people are sticking with the big watches. But some people are like, hey, man, give me a 44 millimeter. I think Invicta should have had, adjusted. If I could snap my finger, I would have adjusted fire. I personally, this is a collection you want to really dive into, and that's their 1953. There should have been different variations of that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get too crazy with it, but all of those should have been a the 1953 Heritage Collection, because that started dive watches. That should have had from its inception should have been Swiss made. I wouldn't take shortcuts on the Heritage or the Sabacco series whatsoever, because that model, that line of watches represents his family and what he believes in as far as quality and craftsmanship. It's been a stellar line. And yeah, it just fell by the wayside. When I saw them put a PC movement in a Sabacco specialty, I knew it was over. That was, I would say, going on 6 years now. No. No, I take that back. That's going on 4 years now that I saw that, like, the movement. So when we went on the cruises, they was always ask AL, what is your favorite watch? And he always said the Sabacco specialty. They asked me that so much that I got irritated. I said, did y'all not hear what he said last year? And when he presents a watch, y'all ask in the chat, what's your favorite watch? Sabacco specialty. I feel that watch should never have taken a dive. It should never have anything less than a Salida 500, Salida 200, or ETA, or nothing. It should be nothing less. Snap my finger, I would go back to that. You know what I'm saying? And moving forward, I don't know why they don't utilize Miyota movements. I mean, you order the Chinese movement stuff, why not get that? I mean, Wings use an ETA. I mean, not ETA, but Miyota. So I don't know. Helios Reserve Moon Phase Automatic Skeleton. Another beauty, but put in Chinese automatic. Another would be watch purchase if Swiss movement. Yeah. Let's go back to what made you want the timepiece. There you have it. There you have it, man. There's too many companies right now that are fighting. Do you understand the micro brand space? If you ask me, San Martin is leading the way as far as can you consider it, is that a micro brand, or I don't know what you would call it. Independent. Now they're not making their own movements at all. They're buying movements, but they're finishing and everything. Oh my gosh, it is outrageous what San Martin is doing right now. Bro, man, please. I wouldn't, as much as I like name brand watches and I still like my Invictas, man, I would rock San Martin. I would buy 7 more of them things right now, different models. Yes, I know they're homage, but they fire, man. These some nice watches, man. So, yeah, that's it. That's what I would do, bro. I would change it. I would change up how we go. Micro brands are taking over the watch world. I would go back to what made us fall in love with Invicta from the jump. Talking timepieces was right. Micro brands and independent brands are going to take over. Yes, it is. Platinum Selects, I do not have, and now you know what? I failed to mention the Platinum Select because that was another. Man, when the Platinum Select came over with Invicta, oh my gosh, bro, that was game changing. Why not do that, man? It's like, for the lack of a better word, like, I'm gonna just use this term. Let's make watch collecting great again. Can you do that? Invicta has the ability to do that. This is a company that can win. That's a company that can win. And I'm telling you, I saw collectors that hadn't collected Invicta for years. They don't talk about Invicta. They don't post it online no more. But they came on a cruise with us. They know who they are. You guys know who you are. You came back. And then I saw 2 of y'all buying Invicta after a 4-year hiatus. Y'all hadn't bought an Invicta. At least you said you didn't buy no Invicta. And if you did, you hadn't posted it. So, like, I got to take you at face value. You said you didn't buy it. I believe it. Right? I believe it. But I saw you buying Invicta. I saw a few of you guys buying Invicta that hadn't bought it. Make it enjoyable. Bring it back, man. Act like you care. You ain't got to care about this, man. Act like it. Guess what? How many people get hit the silver screen, man, don't want to be bothered by fans? But they're enjoyable to watch. They love watching. We love watching some of these people. They be like, hey, man, I'm not a people person. Get away from me, please. Stop. Act like it. Act like you like us. Throw us a bone or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're throwing money. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, for those that like to go to a strip club, man, you'll go and spend money on what you enjoy. Right now, man, people still spending money on watches, bro. Regardless of where the economy is right now, people still gonna buy watches. They actually did just drop a grand diamond 3rd generation with Miyota movements. I missed that one. I didn't see exactly. Micro brands are making nice pieces and literally taking thousands of Invicta sales for their build. Swiss movement and innovative designs. Want to try the San Martin? They look dope. They are. Try. You got me looking for the Eco Godzilla, right? Man, if you can get that, wee. The Ecozilla, bro. And that wasn't an official name. We were just calling it that. I think at the end of 2023, Citizen actually made that an official name for it. Ecozilla. We were just calling it because it was so big, but like then the Ecozilla Godzilla monster watch. Oh man, bro, love that watch, bro. Whew. That's the best quartz watch I got, man, dude. Oh my gosh. And that's what watchmakers watch is supposed to do. And I'm gonna tell you this honestly, even though this does not have all the stuff that I want on it, I still like it. I still like it. I haven't brought myself to size it yet because of what the meaning behind it. You know why I bought it. I just was like, I don't even know if I want to fool with it. But I do enjoy the watches I have, and you're supposed to enjoy the watches that you have. You spent the money on it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we do this? Why collect if you're not enjoying it? If you're not going to enjoy what you have, bro, even though it's like if you buy 7 or 8 watches a week, enjoy what you do. If you going, but I don't know, man. I don't think that's too much to ask. And one thing that I know won't happen, because I requested this a few times, but I know the powers that be over Invicta won't do what some collectors will do. Like, for example, just fun fact, I didn't even own a Fair and Swift timepiece, and I interviewed the founder, one of the founders, because there's 3 of them, of the Fair and Swift watch. I didn't even own the watch yet. I didn't buy it till sometime after the fact. But I had Adam agreed to come on the channel, man, and we talked about it, right? Lorenzo and Lauren, LL, right? That of Laurier is crazy. Lorenzo, Lauren, Laurier. They came on my channel, and I bought the watch, right? There are people at watch fairs that are willing to come on the channel. Who was that? I've had a number of watch founders, creators send me watches or allow me into their production area to see, to look, to increase the love for horology, right? I requested from the brand that I have the most interest in, the most money spent. And granted, Ryan, bro. Ryan is, man, I can ask Ryan to come on anytime, bro. He'll come on, bro. Like, I dig that. But, I'm like, hey, listen, I would love to have the founder or the CEO of Invicta come in. But the thing about it, on the flip side of that, that would have to be a very protected video, because I know people in the chat will be like, why is this, why is that? So I kind of get why he won't do it. But at the same time, maybe he just be like, hey, bro, there's no need for people like you. I don't need to come on your channel for no reason to talk about our brand. So either way, I don't know. I don't have an answer to it. And at this point, it is what it is. So cool people, cool watches. Don't forget about Igor. Yeah, but I didn't even have, wait a minute. I remember he was the first micro brand creator that I had on my channel, bro. That goes way back. Thank you for reminding me of that. Bro. That goes way back. I'd like to see how long we can keep him on. Oh, man. Okay, y'all set me up, bro. You set me up. Yeah, because I was supposed to end. Like, we 19 minutes into the hour, bro. Get out of here, bro. Y'all set me up. Killer Summer Vibe. No, go on somewhere. Y'all sitting there talking. Y'all, okay. I see what you did there. I'm out of here. Hey, y'all go, keep going, keep collecting. research for yourself, enjoy life, man. Don't take life too serious, man. And if somebody offends you by the watch that you have on your wrist, be like, so what? It's on my wrist, not yours, man. The most valuable thing you have is time, and you guys spent that with me. I took that terminology from somebody because I think it's dope. Don't forget to check in with Skylar Santana, man, a dope creator. Riskful Ignorance, man, up and coming. Let's make sure that these guys' numbers are up, and you, again, please leave some great comments for them, man. And if there's something wrong that they're doing or something right or whatever in between, make sure you let them know, man, so they know how to go, what direction to go in. We're building up a community, man, so let's take this thing. Let's take our flag, man, and just, march with that bad boy. You feel me? So until the next lightning strike, family, y'all be blessed. Thank you.